about an hour out from our starting position. We're heading to Emporia today. The Emporia South Full Day Trail, you can find that at the visitemporia.com. It starts out in Emporia, the loop will end in Emporia, but we'll be hitting a lot of the major parts of the Flint Hills, a lot of the last remaining prairie out there. Keisha, what you looking forward to seeing today?
Just some of the landscape and the views. There's some good points of interest on the map too that we'll see, but mainly the landscape and the views.
I'm kind of a sucker for water crossings. I hope there's a little something in Burgess Crossing that we're gonna hit. One of the first points of interest today. Love driving in the water. Dick, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm really kind of looking forward to the ghost town aspect of what we're going to be doing. Teeterville closed down like back in the 60s, and now it's just a whole bunch of foundations basically like in the grass. And so we're doing like aerial investigation, trying to find photos before we went out here to see if we could locate some of these buildings, and I think that'll be a really interesting part of the trip.
Teeterville is next to Teeter Rock. Really cool dark sky country if you're into camping and doing night stuff. So this trip's, really looking forward to it. Should be a beautiful day.
As we make our way into Emporia, we are excited and anticipating the journey ahead. We've been planning this trip for a while now, and we're finally here. Our first stop is a gas station in Emporia to fill up the Jeep, give it a quick cleaning, and grab any last-minute items. With the cameras mounted, we meet up with a friend who will be joining us on this adventure. Let's get this journey started.
All right, here we are at the start of the trail, actually, which is in Emporia, Kansas. Home of the Emporia State Hornets, a popular teaching college. We got our man Warren behind us in the Subaru Outback Wilderness Edition. We'll be hitting the Flint Hills, a lot of minimum maintenance roads, a lot of rocky stuff. We'll be driving through some open range. As far as conditions go, it's been dry lately. It's likely we will not have four-wheel drive engaged today. Little need for massive tires or anything. This is a beautiful country drive. We can't wait to get out there.
As we head southwest out of Emporia, the first leg of today's journey takes us 33 miles across farmland, pastures, and twice over the Kansas Turnpike to Verdigris Crossing. The mid-June weather is cooperating with us so far. It's 65 as we roll onto the prairie with a forecast expecting a high of 80. But those dark clouds overhead threaten to make it a wet and muddy day. As is expected, the dirt roads kick up dust, so if you end up behind another vehicle, it's wise to follow at a distance when traversing the Flint Hills. This will offer the best opportunity at unobstructed views of the countryside and its inhabitants. Even though we got out to a late start, we saw some roadside attractions that warranted a stop for some photos and to grab a few snacks.
How many birds?
For those of you that don't know,
Case.
this is Warren.
Hey. Warren in the Subaru Wilderness. What year?
23.
23 Subaru Wilderness.
Yep.
It's been handling the South Emporia Full Day Trail like a champ today. Gonna get my beef stick on. We're gonna take some pictures of those horses over there. I hope they're wild. I'm going to say they're wild horses. I don't know that for sure. Could be full of shit. They may be someone's horses. There is a fence here. And we will hit some open range territory today. But I've read there's wild horses in the area. And there's a lot of those. Over there.
So you didn't bring a wide lens or whatever kind of lens you're talking about, but what the hell is all over? What is all that on your camera? Like, what is this massive? Like, this is a big ass camera.
This is
like,
a big ass camera.
This
This is back from when like I had a job where I actually used this thing and it paid for itself.
I mean, the camera itself, even without that big lens on it, is freaking massive. Like,
I mean, it's like this is what sports photographers use.
Yeah. Like if you want that shot of Patrick Mahomes' helmet breaking, you have to have a camera like that.
Let me just change this. So if I'm in camera mode.
oh. See, you could do actions. I could be making jumping jacks and you could catch me at every single
frame.
stage I wanted.
every
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I am not going to do jumping jacks, just so y'all know. No jumping jacks. You want to do some jumping jacks and he takes some frame by frame pictures of you?
I think I'm solid. I'm good.
Next stop, Verdigris Crossing. There's definitely a couple of trends here. Oil pumps and cows. They're all over. It's a good thing we haven't seen any ducks, right?
We were actually at the very end of Engineer Pass on the Lake City side when, airing up our tires, a lone duckling made its way up and introduced itself to us, and we picked it up. Some friends of ours, Darren and Isabel, adopted it for the evening, and Isabel fell in love, but as a Jeep guy and the duck dashboard, Nick, what did you suggest the solution to the duck being?
Long story short, Jeeps are kind of known for the ducks on the windshield, and realistically out in the wild, if this duck is going to be on its own, it's going to have a hard time of it. So I say we taxidermy it and put it on the dashboard, and it can just join the family. It can have its family here. We did find a family for it actually, though, at the barn, right? Like they took it to the bingo hall down the street in town from where we had dinner that night, and somebody who had a barn just built a new pond in my backyard, and I need a duck for it, so found him a home that way. It worked out good for the duck.
So no ducks were harmed in the making of the Engineer Pass video, but it could have almost been one of these guys. As we climb into the Flint Hills, you'll appreciate the vast expanses of green grass, rolling hills, and the occasional pocket of trees. Along the way, you'll see many ponds sparkling in the sun, but those ponds are not natural. While there is natural rivers flowing through the area, the ponds you see were man-made and made for cattle. These ponds became part of the ecosystem and now support much more wildlife than the cattle they were originally built for. One of the highlights on the South Full Day Trail is crossing Camp Creek, which is fed by the Verdigris River, whose name means green gray in French. Verdigris Crossing was a major roadblock for pioneers who spent days digging down the riverbanks just to get their wagons across. Let's take a look at Verdigris Crossing as it is today. While I'm always up for a water crossing, our path through is much easier than it was for the early settlers. With only a few inches of water in the creek today, the ruts left by the farm equipment were the most difficult part to navigate. The water depth here can change after a good rain, so approach all water crossings with a bit of caution.
Next, we're heading out to the Matfield Green Tower. We continue to travel southwest for about 5 miles. The sketchy clouds have stayed away, so I don't think we're gonna run into any rain today. Jeremy's over here talking to cows.
I love my animals.
Moo. Oh, they just run away. Moo. I don't talk to cows.
Yeah, you talk to them like you don't patronize them, you don't moo with them. You know better than that. You're not gonna fool a cow. It's cool, I don't have any more cow talk really. But we are coming up on Matfield Green Tower.
The road is a steady climb from the wetlands of Verdigris Crossing at 1,300 feet to the base of the tower at 1,650. Seeing as it stretches out over nearly 5 miles, the 350 feet in elevation change is almost imperceptible. And while not technically the highest elevation on the trail for the day, that will come just before the oil pump at Texaco Hill at 1,656 feet. The elevation and proximity to I-35 make it easy to see why the tower is located where it stands.
Alright, Warren, we are gonna stop on the road here. This is kind of gonna become lunch.
Copy.
It's been a good day. The rain stayed away. Having a bite to eat. We got some Nature Valley, some fruit snacks. We got the Frosted Flakes individual packs, which are essential. Oh, just enjoying the tower.
So we finally made it to the Matfield Green Tower. It's 393 feet tall, and it was built in 1952. Most locals say that this area is the best for scenic views and just getting a lay of the land and for sunsets.
When you think about how our cell phones work and stuff like that, it's just kind of crazy to me. You know, you don't really think about where stuff like this is. And right, it's got out in the middle of nowhere. This makes your iPhone tick, makes your Android tick. It's kind of a cool piece of technology, right?
What if I can't see that?
Yep. All right, we are close to taking off.
Continuing to head southwest, we travel through the winding Flint Hill roads for about 20 miles to Texaco Hill. There are beautiful rocky prairie hills, wooded creek bottoms, and wetlands scattered around this area. Due to this, we can see a variety of wildlife like this deer. We pulled over because we almost ran over this ornate box turtle, which, in case you didn't know, is the state reptile of Kansas. Don't worry, we didn't interfere with his travels as he disappeared into the brush. Could you imagine being a delivery driver on this route? Where's the house?
That's probably some giant corporation's mailbox right there.
What mailbox thing?
There's a mailbox back there with no house. That's probably some like giant corporations.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know if I've ever heard of like any major tax write-offs in Chase County, but
So with less than 4% of the North American tallgrass prairies still in existence, the Flint Hills is a rare ecosystem. There's different layers of limestone and shale that are layered on top of each other that create this stair-step erosion type of pattern. You have these big, like, kind of gentle looking rolling hills, and when you get up to them, you find that they're a lot steeper than they look from afar. Got a couple of hills that we're going to be hitting up next. Texaco Hill is one of them, so we'll catch you when we get there.
Oh, we got cows in the road.
Cow. I gotta go, Julia. We got cows.
We got cows.
how's it going? Oh, like threw something up.
Oh.
Oh, look at this guy right here.
Yeah, Gary, watch out.
Look like you're trouble.
It's a preview.
We are right here at Texaco Hill. The guide says it's at 1637 elevation. A guy is telling me 1642. Pretty close. That is... It's the oil rig at Texaco Hill right out that window. This spot's known for some of the most scenic views in the Flint Hills, and I gotta say, just looking out that way, it's pretty amazing.
Apple Watch shows elevation at 1,600 feet. 1,600 feet. So
Well, that's way off.
we've got a lot of different options. But it is beautiful.
Alright, next stop is Teeter Rock, and it's really not that far away.
Copy that.
As we start on the fourth leg of the trail, the wait is nearly over for the crown jewel of the prairie, Teeter Rock, which is a short 6.3 mile drive to the southwest of Texaco Hill.
I don't know if you noticed, Keisha, but I've seen a lot of butterflies today, several monarchs.
Yep. I have two. I also don't know if you've noticed, but it hasn't rained on us still yet.
You got another weather report?
I can look up the weather again, yeah.
Keisha's weather report.
Yes. If there's gonna be any rain, it'll be tonight at way after sunset.
You do a better job. You gotta look at the camera, you gotta say that.
There's no rain coming at all until like maybe 11 o'clock tonight. Then there's an 80% chance of rain. But there was an 80% chance of rain earlier and it didn't rain on us either. So I don't think we're going to get any rain. Oh, we got more cows. As we cross over the East Branch Fall River, no surprise, there are cows. You can also see patches of wetlands sprinkled over the area.
We are very close to Teeter Rock. Basically, we'll go straight up here. There's an intersection with a road going to the right, and kind of up over on those hills. We'll drive up on a hill over there, and that'll be like Teeter Rock.
Gotcha. Yeah, out of curiosity, have you actually gone for a load or anything like that on this trip, or you still just wheel?
I've been in two-wheel drive all day.
Okay, I'm up on the road
I
up
see
there.
ya. Yeah. Good beef sticks, aren't they? We'll be off again momentarily.
Copy that.
Here we go, fam. We're making that final push to the main attraction, Teeter Rock. From here you can see for miles, similar to being on the open ocean. I'll let the views do the rest of the talking. We are here. Oh. We're at Teeter Rock. Let's go. Some people came up to say hello. Let's see who we got here. Hey, friends. Oh, you don't want to be on YouTube? How you doing? How's it doing? This is where your McDonald's comes from. Ooh, you've got some flies. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Look at these cows.
There's an amazing sense of peace out here in the Flint Hills. The wide open prairie and endless sky create a place that feels both wild and gentle all at once. The wind whispers through the tall grass, and the soft moo of cows adds to the rustic charm.
All right, we're here at the iconic Teeter Rock. You come off the main road over a cattle guard, it gets a little rough from there. This 16-foot slab of limestone was put up by the Historical Society in 1954, but before that, it was just a pile of rocks at one time.
In the early 1920s, there was a discovery of oil in the region, and that kind of led to a boom in this area, and thus Teeterville was built. So they took the rocks from the original pile of rocks, I guess, and used it actually in the construction of the town of Teeterville.
In the 1870s and 80s, the original pile of rocks was used as a navigational beacon for pioneers looking for Cottonwood River. In the 1920s, the oil boom Nick referred to, led to the deconstruction of that for those rocks to be used.
So now we have this 16-foot limestone monolith, as Jeremy was saying earlier. This was put here in the 50s as commemoration to the memory of James Teeter.
We're going to look around and see if we can't find a few of the ruins of Teeterville, but yeah, nothing currently remains of that place today.
Yeah, I think we saw some off the side there. It's basically just like foundations. We did a lot of like scouring of the internet to try to find some aerial photos before all the buildings were gone, and we actually did finally find some. I think we were able to kind of figure out where the post office was, and maybe like the general store as well. So
looks much different today.
yes.
As the day moves further into the afternoon, having made it to Teeter Rock, the monolith on the prairie, we begin to pack up and roll out. Taking a left and heading west on Teeter Hill Road, the next scheduled leg is 56 miles. It heads south and winds through the prairie, turning to the southeast and eventually back north to the eastern edge of the Flint Hills into Madison, Kansas. If that sounds like a lot, it was a lot to say. To help you out, we've added a link to the map file in the description of the video for anyone who's curious and wants to take the journey themselves. However, as we pull away from the rock, our stomachs began to get the better of us and some debate ensued. Is it dinner time or adventure time? The original plan was to continue to Madison for leg 5 and stop at the local Casey General Store for gas and gas station pizza. Then finish the 6th and final leg of the journey, 34 miles back to Emporia to complete the 156-mile south full-day loop. But we didn't do that. Instead, we took a right and carved a new path, the Badge Chaser Hunger Cut, straight to Radius Brewing in Emporia. Our shortcut reduces the final 2 legs down from 110 miles to only 40 and gets us to beers, burgers, and brick oven pizza much faster.
On the final 25-mile stretch back to Emporia, now is as good a time as any to reflect on what we've seen on our journey through the prairie. The hills are home to over 1,000 species of flowers, plants, and ferns, 79% of which are native to the region. The native Big Four grasses of Indian grass, switchgrass, and big and little bluestem make up 75% of all the grasses in the region, with roughly 70 different species in total making up the remainder. The sheer magnitude of plant life offers many benefits, including the prevention of soil erosion and the filtering of water through root systems. The ecosystem stores vast amounts of organic carbon that would otherwise oxidize to become greenhouse gases while providing food, habitat, and excellent forage for livestock. The Flint Hills stretch nearly 200 miles from north to south through the eastern half of Kansas. The region was named by Zebulon Pike, a famous American explorer, for the flint rock that covers the slopes of the rolling hills that make up the landscape. This helps to discourage plowing and has contributed to the native flora continuing to dominate the ecosystem.
With the changing seasons, the panorama of the landscape changes in both color and height as the tall grass makes way for fresh growth. The local ecosystem evolved with fire, which historically was caused by lightning and is necessary to maintain prairie diversity and prevent the encroachment of woody vegetation that would eventually turn the prairie into a forest. Earlier this year in March, we toured the hills with our friend Phil during the burning of the fields, and you can see the vast difference in the landscape as the fire clears a path for new, nutrient-rich vegetation. Grazing and burning are traditions dating back to land management techniques developed by the Native Americans, and is now primarily conducted by ranchers. With water flowing, wildlife thriving, and tall grass whispering in the wind, the Flint Hills has a lot to offer and is an underrated beauty. And in case you missed it, there are a lot of cows.
That's a smell. Oh, that's a skunk. Yeah. That's what that is. As you can see in most of this video, this trail is totally accessible to anyone, but not everybody's going to take the same line. This trail has a mix of well-maintained roads and roads that are very much minimum maintenance. We did decide to air down a bit after Teeter Rock, mostly for comfort, not a necessity. If you do decide to take the trail someday, pick the appropriate line for your vehicle and you'll be fine. I'm gonna pull over and put a little air in. We've covered about 30 miles since we left Teeter Rock, and we're about to run into some paved roads. It's important to have proper air pressure on the highway when at speed, or you're going to have a bad day. We're going to air up the tires with our onboard air system, and from here it's a short 10 miles back to Emporia.
air in the tires and as ready as we'll ever be to end the day, we get back on the last stretch of dirt road that is Road 110. Taking a left onto K99, we are a mere 10 minutes from a well-deserved dinner at Radius Brewing Company of Emporia. But before we do that, let's pay our respects to some of the cultural legends of this town that serves as the front porch of the Flint Hills.
An interesting fact about Emporia is that Maud Wagner is from here. And for those of you who don't know who she is, she was known as the first female tattoo artist in the United States. She actually married a guy who was a tattoo artist, and she became basically his apprentice and learned from him. Her and her husband were the last known tattoo people that did it by hand instead of using modern tattoo machines. Another interesting person that is from Emporia is Robert Lee Emery? Is that right? Ermey. Okay, sorry. He's a well-known, renowned actor. I recognized him from Major Payne. He did serve in the military, or in the Marines for 11 years, and he was also in Dead Man Walking. He did a voice in Toy Story and The Simpsons and Family Guy as well. A couple of interesting people from here, so small world, huh?
So Alvin Davis, Alvin Davis used to play for the Mariners. Let's talk about Alvin King. He is the founder of Veterans Day. In World War II, he had a nephew that he was raising that passed in the war, and he was grieving from that. And when Armistice Day rolled around every year, which I believe just honors people of World War I, he wanted to expand that to include people that served in all wars. When that didn't really make any headway, what he ended up doing was petitioning his town, Emporia, and they went ahead and had the first Veterans Day in the country on November 11th, 1953. And at that point in time, Dwight D. Eisenhower, who was the president from Kansas as well, made Veterans Day an official U.S. holiday the following year on November 11th, 1954, which was the very first Veterans Day of the United States. Another famous Emporian and my personal favorite is Dean Smith, Tar Heels, University of North Carolina. Dean Smith, when he retired, was the winningest coach at the NCAA level. He's since been passed a couple times over. Legendary coach nonetheless. He coached the likes of Vince Carter, one of my personal favorites, Antoine Jameson, James Worthy, a Laker, Sam Perkins. I'm a Sonics fan, and he was a big player for us back in the day. And then the one and only Michael Jordan. Dean Smith, 2 national titles, legendary coach of college basketball ranks.
So here we are, back where it all started in Emporia, and we are hungry. We stopped and grabbed a bite at Radius Brewing and wished Warren a safe drive home, but the thoughts of sunset at Teeter Rock was too much to pass up. Nick, Keisha, and I headed back out in hopes of catching a beautiful sunset on the prairie. Today was an incredible drive. We had a bunch of views of the Flint Hills, wide expanses, different terrains. We had a little mud, a little bit of rocks. Keisha, what was your favorite thing?
Just the views. I really enjoyed all the views. There's a lot of wildlife we saw too that was really interesting.
Nick, what'd you like?
The sunset's incredible. Like, I can't wait to look at the drone footage. It's great.
It was a pretty amazing day. We're gonna get out of here and hopefully see you on the next adventure. Talk to you later.
Thanks for joining us. You made it this far, so hit that like button and share this video with a friend. And also, don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next adventure. Bye!